As we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there's some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Yes, yes, yes. It's Boxing Talk with Raphie. And I received a notification that we are live. Literally, 10 seconds into the live. That's some of the quickest. That's the quickest notification probably I have ever received. Okay, so let me get into my stream or screen. And where are we? Let me have a look. Let me do a sound check. Okay. Have a look. Yes. It's the Monique Thompson in the building. Red Glove Militant up in the building. Excellente. Okay. So, first thing I need to do is spread the news. Oh, hold on. Where's the link at? Where is the link at? Okay, let me copy that and paste that. And then let me copy that over here. Paste that. Boom. Okay, where we at? Where are we at? Let me share this. Copy and paste. And go back down into notes. Bring this thing up. Same thing again, paste. Okay. Let's get some space in that. Once I share this, we'll get into the show. There we go. Boxing Talk. Boom. Who's got that? Boxing Talk. Share that. Boom. And should be able to just copy this the first time. Share that over there also. And boom. Okay. So I've done all the sharing. Now I got to shut off these notifications so we can get into the show undisturbed. Okay, where we at? Okay, let me go back over here and talk about the show. Okay, so for anyone who has not been here before, this is Boxing Talk with Raphie. This is where the good people come to talk boxing related topics and non-boxing related topics. Yes, Monique. Tell me about it. Weather's sweltering, and all I can do is ride my bike. That's better than nothing. But I received a WhatsApp message talking about they're gonna stop people exercising. Police there's gonna be local wardens watching people and writing them up. I've been told it's a hoax. It's a hoax WhatsApp message. And what the hell was that? Okay. And I certainly hope it is, because my bike riding is the only thing that's keeping me sane right about now. I'm an active guy. This this inactivity, relative inactivity, is alien to me. And today, it certainly did my nutting. That's what we say over here in the UK. It did my nutting. So where are we? I've done all three. Yeah, so like, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not done so previously and you wish to do so. Please feel free to do so. It is free. And what else is there? There's the Twitter button also. So feel free to go ahead and hit that. Okay. So where are we now? Exactly. Okay. Let's move on. Let's get into it. I'm ready for FaceTime. I'm ready. Yeah, FaceTime. Let's get the angles right. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. That's enough for now. That's just a teaser. Okay, so let's get into some of the topics. As a matter of fact, let's get into the warm-in video. Let's get a bit of the warm-in video in. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let me line this baby up. I hope you're okay. And I know that I'm going stir crazy like you, Monique. I'm going stir crazy. Today was a tough day. I want to know if it's legal to play tennis these days. Just trying to think. I got a tennis racket I haven't played in years, but a friend of mine plays tennis. I mean, I'm sure we'll be a good meters apart from each other at all times. So tennis would be nice. Got an open air place near my home. So, boom. I want to know if that's feasible. Stir crazy, going stir crazy over here. Okay, let me see what's going on. Can we start this? Let's look at the playback speed. Let's speed that up a little bit. Okay, so today, what have we got on the menu? We will be talking about, where are we? We're talking about, as a matter of fact, let me get the title screen up. Let me get the title screen up because there's a lot of things on the topic. Okay, so where are we? Why don't we share that? Share screen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we got Boxing Talk with Raphie 113. We got Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler 33 years ago. So we're going to be having a little revisit. We're going to revisit that. Let me turn down the volume on this device. Revisiting that. We got Barry Hearn, talking about Barry Hearn, who's recently suffered a heart attack, mild. So he's good, apparently. We got Ryan Garcia saying that when he beats Gervonta Davis, he will become like Muhammad Ali. And there's much, much more. Okay, let's close that. As a matter of fact, where are we? Let's go over to that. There. Let's make this larger. And this is the warm-in video. Play a little bit of this to allow the area to populate. Okay, so let me kill the music, get the screen large, and yeah, let's get some volume on this baby.
So Raphie walk into the combat radio, and I guess some of you may not have heard the news of Barry Hearn and his suffering a minor heart attack. Okay, I just heard it myself. I heard a few hours ago, but it was strange. It was strange because I felt quite stunned. I went to the computer and tried to do a pictorial of the events around the time when Barry Hearn came to prominence in the UK. Okay, so let's get into the pictorial. Michael Watson was coming up, the young gun. Knew it was going to be something special. Boxing was on fire over here in the UK. Still is. And Barry Hearn played a big part in that. It was a fantastic time as a kid watching Barry Hearn bring these guys through, promote them, put them on TV, prime time. Didn't have to pay any special fees. It was just on the TV. That came later. Pay-per-view came later. So Barry Hearn, I realize now, Barry Hearn is something of a boxing icon. For those who have been over here in the UK, watching, participating, loving boxing for decades. And just one decade, but decades, going back 30 years now, to Barry Hearn's rise to prominence in the field of boxing. Still relevant today. The company's still going strong, stronger than ever, perhaps, in the boxing side, with Eddie Hearn at the helm. Barry Hearn is a boxing icon over here in the UK. There's giving Nigel Benn a lift up. This was the era boxing exploded on the screen. Fantastic, exciting. The Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn versus Chris Eubank. Poll tax riots. 1990 effigy of Margaret Thatcher, called her the milk snatcher. She took nationalized industries, British Rail, British Telecom. She privatized national companies, took the wealth from British-owned companies and put it in the hands of the wealthy few. The 90s, poll tax riots. Upheaval, tension. 5 years after the London riots, 10 years after the tax death riots in Liverpool over racial inequality. Man gets run over by horses in the 1990, police horses, 1990 poll tax riots. It's around the same time Barry Hearn came to prominence. That's why, I guess, it triggered off thoughts. Volatile times. Country switching from left wing to right wing. Damn, should have known. Should have known Billy Joe Saunders would have been involved in this thing. Bloody hell, Billy. Come on, mate. Time of upheaval. Time when people weren't sat indoors playing with their phones. Did we even have computers back then? No, you didn't have no computers in the home. Maybe the Sinclair. I don't know. Yeah, maybe some people did. We didn't. Videos, DVDs. I don't think DVDs were even invented. It was videos, cassette videos. People were out and about on playing with their internet devices. There no Bluetooth back then. Margaret Thatcher, a milk snatcher. Kids used to get milk in school from year one, the first year, infant school. Margaret Thatcher took away the milk. That was the era. I guess it triggered it. I heard that Barry Hearn had a mild heart attack. I guess I don't keep track of these things, but this was the second mild heart attack he's had. I didn't even know that he had the first one. Those are the memories that triggered So let's talk about Barry now. Yeah, so Barry Hearn is in good spirits after suffering a heart attack on Sunday. Hearn 71 is set to return home on Wednesday, so that was yesterday. His son, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, posted on social media, "My dad was taken to hospital on Sunday after a minor heart attack and was operated on yesterday. He's up and well and returns home today in good spirits. Thank you." He went on to praise, he went on to pay tribute to the NHS for National Health Service for their treatment of his father, who also had a heart attack back in 2002. Hearn is 71. Okay, so Hearn shot to prominence in the 1970s when he managed six-time snooker world champion Steve Davis. That was in the 70s? Okay. He founded Matchroom Sports and promoted some of Britain's biggest boxing events from the late 80s onwards. He also served as chairman of a football club, Leyton Orient, from 95 to 2014. But the good news is Barry Hearn is up on his feet post-operation and in good spirits after his minor heart attack. So, yeah, Barry Hearn, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted by those some fools abroad. Barry Hearn has played a major part in the prominence of boxing. Prompted me to do this video, pictorial. That could be an oxymoron. Video piece, pictorial piece. Say thank you to Barry Hearn and stay well. You have been an excellent servant of the sport. Those of us who've been watching it for decades not know Johnny come latelys. It's the Raphie Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget about the live shows. Monday and is it Wednesday? Nah, this week is Thursday, 9 p.m. UK time. I'm out.
Okay, so that was my latest piece for your enjoyment. Oh, okay. Let's stop sharing that. Is it done? Is it over? Are we finished? Are we done? Are we finished? Oh, we're done. Okay, stop sharing that. Let's go back over. Okay, we're in place. Let's get this link in the chat. In case anybody's got the time to jump on as we move and commence. Okay, so let me turn that down a little bit. That should be okay. Turn that down a fraction. Okay, so let me continue sharing. Shall I continue sharing? All right, let me go into this screen. Let me share over here. Boom. Okay, so yeah, like I said. Oh, let me address what am I talking about? Yeah, let me address some of the chat. Okay, so what does Red Glove Militant say? Red Glove Militant says, Raph, I think there's an issue with YouTube. Keep saying this can't be played in the background, but I'm not even trying to catch it in the background. Hold on. Can you see this? Can you see this good? Can you see this clear? Can you Are you catching this? Are you watching this? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I've been having, Big Boys Boxing up in the building. SSB 28 up in the building. Okay. Oh, John D. Lee up in the building. Okay. So, as far as YouTube, every time I start to stream, I get a warning. And it says, just beware. Beware that host destinations, whatever, like YouTube and Facebook are at use of these formats are at unprecedented levels. And that's just like a warning, a hint to say, hey, be careful or don't expect miracles because everybody's on. So I think that could be an issue, Red Glove Militant. I know every time recently I've gone to edit a video before I've uploaded it. There has been tends to be some kind of issue, especially if there's lots of edits in the video. I had to put on private my Amir Khan video. That was a lovely piece, but that kind of got messed up in the editing. Hold on a second. Can I release that again if I delete the old one? Or re-release it? I might do that. Should I do that? I don't know. I may. But anyway, so there's been some trickiness going on with YouTube because of the unprecedented levels of usage. But okay, anybody wants to jump on, link is in the chat. But as I proceed, okay, so Barry Hearn, as you will know from the warming video, he suffered a mild heart attack. I didn't know he'd had a first one, but apparently he had a first one. This is the second one. And like the video said, I felt kind of strange about it. And I thought, And I thought, well, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way? So I went back and had a look. I did a kind of, where's this thing? I did a kind of pictorial piece. I kind of looked for pictures of that time when he was coming up to prominence, when he was in prominence. And it was interesting what I found. It was pictures of the poll tax riots, which I remember from being a kid, 1990. There was social unrest. But in the meantime, we had boxing to keep us entertained. The likes of Jim McDonald, the likes of Michael Watson, Chris Eubank. They like the chin touch. They like the chin touch. They've perfected that. Come to that picture later. The likes of the Dark Destroyer. Got to give a shout out to the Dark Destroyer. He lost a brother recently to the COVID-19. But when they release stories of this COVID-19 and who it's took, I'd like to know what the underlying factors were. I'd like to know what the primary illness is. Because I'm wondering. A lot of people who die from the COVID, it seems, I'm speculating that they have underlying illnesses. And so when I hear that somebody's passed from COVID, my first thought is, well, that's very, very sad. My second thought is, what was the underlying sickness? What was the underlying sickness? That's what I want to know. I spoke about the poll tax riots. It's kind of crazy out there. Let me stop that. Go back over there. And where are we? Where is that? Yeah. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, it was rough. Okay, we had horseback. Can't remember the time. Can't remember the last time I've seen cops on horseback. But there you see, one guy's got trampled. Most unfortunate. It can't feel comfortable having horses' hooves on your back. That's gonna leave a mark. That's definitely gonna leave a mark. Okay. And what's this? The thin blue line. It's a thinner blue line these days. It was a thicker blue line back then. We're not talking about pregnancy testing either. Okay. I was wondering why this dude was going after this poor man's cafe. And then I took another look. Let me what's this here? Can't see that. Okay, I took another look and I saw the emblem, the McDonald's emblem. Damn, maybe they're going after McDonald's even then. All the forest, all the rainforest that they use, all the trees they have to chop down to put the cows in the place of the trees. Trees oxygenate the earth, you know the cycle. So when I saw the McDonald's sign, I thought, okay. Where we at? Okay, and once again, we got some horseback action. A young lady over there. How old is she then? Looks like she was about 20. So I don't know. What's that? 30 years ago. She's 50 now. This guy here about to get trampled. This diminutive police person, or is it a woman? It's a police woman. Yeah, she's tiny. Guess she's a police woman. She might get trampled too. This guy down here, he's certainly going to get trampled. Wow, damn. Yeah. Just read John's Daly's post. Come to that in a second. Yeah, so horseback, people getting trampled by horseback. Damn, that's got to be scary. That's got to hurt. And damn. I should have known. I should have known Billy Joe Saunders would be in on this. There he is. I should have known Billy Joe Saunders would be in on this. How do I make this damn thing bigger? I'm scared to press this button. Oh, here's the right button. Okay, so yeah, Billy Joe Saunders causing trouble even back then. Okay, cease and desist notice. Okay, and we've gone through the pictorial. Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me stop sharing that. And let's come out of that. Come back into this. And let's get into some of these comments. Where are we at? Yeah, definitely an issue. Definitely an issue with YouTube. With the use that's going on right now. John Daly up in the building. Yeah, I don't think you're the only one having issues, Red Glove Militant. Hopefully I can get through the show without too many issues, though. Okay. Where are we? SSB. Big up to the panel. Big up to the chat. Yes, indeed. That's SSB. Barry Hearn was very pivotal in Chris Eubank's career. Absolutely. I remember at one stage he had him on the I think that was when Sky came in. Yeah, I think at one point they had Chris Eubank on the one. What was it the bomber month? That who's it that said that? Nigel Benn. It was Nigel Benn that said, yeah, they had Chris Eubank on the bomber of the month program. They had Chris Eubank on the bum of the month program. That was with Sky, and it was profitable for the fella. Raphie, you will see police on horseback at all football matches, except this. Policed by the West Midlands Force. This is because a Zulu killed a horse with a bayonet in the late 80s. Damn, I didn't even know about that. So yeah, horseback. That's when you see them. That's when you see them at football matches. Yeah. Yes. Ryan Garcia is amazing, but he comes out with some ish at times. That's relating to one of the topics. Ryan Garcia, I think it's actually the title of this thing. Ryan Garcia. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia, no doubt. Okay. That was from Michael J. White. GeorgiePorgie up in the building. Okay. So, where do we begin? Yeah, thumbs up, gang. Okay, where do we begin? First of all, let me get rid of those pictures. I don't want it slowing down. I don't want it slowing down my shizzle too much. Boom. Get them out one at a time. I'll leave that up there. One at a time. Nigel Benn, the writing, all that shizzle. It's got to go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now we're good. Then we're down to a manageable amount of open windows. And let's move that over there and let's get into the topics now. Damn, I just heard a pop. I'll be coming back round to that screen in a second. I was finding the first topic. Okay, I think this is going to be the first topic. Let's get back to who we got. It is none other than John D. Lee. How you doing, John?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Raphie.
Excellente. So, were people clapping at 8 p.m. tonight?
Oh, yeah. It's always noisy around me, though, because QE is so close.
Oh, yeah, I heard it today. I heard what sounded like a commotion. I heard what sounded like some people, some housewives, rattling some pots, banging some pots.
Yeah, there's some pot bashing going on.
There was some pot bashing going on. Pot abuse. There was some pot abuse going on. And I heard some cars honking their horns. That's what alerted to me. And then I realized this was the thing that John was talking. I looked at my clock, the watch, and it was 8 p.m. And I thought, yeah, this is the thing. I probably heard it last time, but I didn't register it. I just thought, what's going on? But yeah, I heard it. So I thought, you know what? I just do it as well. Just stand up and clap. And actually, it felt very good. It felt therapeutic, John. I don't know if you did it this week.
Yeah, I did it, but I got loads of family that are nurses anyway.
Say that again?
Well, two of my cousins are nurses.
Yeah.
And my mum was a nurse as well.
Yeah, my mum was a nurse as well, yeah.
So I kind of always support them because I know what they all have to do.
Oh, hell yeah. I've always supported them for the same reason. Well, yeah, I joined in. It's quite therapeutic. Yeah, I don't regret it. I'll do it again next week. No problem.
It's only a couple of minutes once a week just to let them know that, you know, we appreciate that they're the ones who are probably all going to cop it.
Yeah, they're in the front line. They're in the front line. And
Yeah.
since we're talking about that, I think that's where we're going to start. I think that's where we're going to start. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so Nigel Benn's brother dies from coronavirus battle. Okay, two-division world champion Nigel Benn has revealed the tragic news that his brother, one of his brothers, got loads of brothers, Mark, had died following a battle against coronavirus COVID-19. Ben said, "My brother Mark passed away today." What's the date on this? That was Sunday. This was Sunday. My brother Mark passed away today. As we were growing up, Mark was the joker of the Ben household. May he rest in peace. Love you, Mark. Ben, 56 years old, held the WBO middleweight title in 1919 and the WBC super middleweight title from 92 to 96. The boxer retired in 96 with a record of 42 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. Where are we? Back in 2019, yeah, we know he tried to come back, didn't work out. Had suffered injury, shoulders, recurring injury, but that wasn't to be. Didn't work out, fortunately for him. Yeah, still gets to see action from ringside watching his son. As far as the UK is concerned, nearly 5,000 have died from the coronavirus, with nearly 48,000 infected. More than 1.2 million coronavirus cases have been recorded on a worldwide level. What was that say? 1.2 million. Okay. With 69,000 deaths. Light heavyweight contender Anthony Yard has lost both his father and a grandmother to the deadly virus. So RIP goes out to those who have passed away from the virus. You know, I know a few people who passed away recently. An older guy of 80, he was in his 80s. I know a couple of his sons, well, I know his family. And there's a woman who was in her 50s. I know she's passed away, but she been suffering from health. She was up and about, but she was talking about, you know, the doctor said she should should do that. She was overweight. I don't know if her issue was respiratory, but that's very much a shame, because she was a very, very pleasant lady, a family friend of the family. Very, very pleasant, exceptionally pleasant. So, yeah. But you see, my question is, what are the underlying... Monique did it as well. Yes, it felt good, Monique. It felt good that the 8 o'clock thing, Thursday, 8 p.m. over here in the UK. We stand and applaud for 2 minutes. Some people bang pots. If you're driving, people toot their horns in appreciation for the NHS. NHS stands for National Health Service workers who are effectively on the front line dealing with these people on a daily basis. That's the nurses, the doctors, the orderlies, everybody, the porters. Everybody's doing their bit. Everybody in the NHS who are on the front line. We take 2 minutes out of the week on a Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time, clearly, to applaud their efforts. At first I thought, well, maybe isn't that a bit patronizing? But after having spoken to John, who lives near a hospital, he said, no, they are appreciative. So once I knew that, I thought, okay, since it's not patronizing, I will join in. But my question is, the people who are dying from this thing, I don't know. I get the impression that there's some other underlying factor. There's some other underlying illness. The coronavirus just finishes them off. That's my impression, John. What's your feeling on this?
I think that's most of the time. Mm-hmm. I also think the recorded number of cases are a lot less than the actual number of cases, because we haven't got enough tests to test staff.
Okay.
So I know that there's NHS staff who've gone off work who haven't had a test, but they've got symptoms.
So you're saying that you think there's more people with it than is being advertised?
Yeah, by a lot.
Okay,
But-
by a significant margin.
But the Imperial College London, they've been using a mathematical model to predict the spread of the virus,
Uh-huh.
and that's what prompted the government to go into lockdown. Now,
Uh-huh.
their model also predicts that there's a lot more people with it than we know, because we haven't got a lot of facility to do a test.
Right.
So it's only serious cases in hospital that are actually getting tested.
Uh-huh. So the proliferation of this thing is
Well, it's
greater.
super contagious. Because I mentioned, I know someone who works on a ward that that's what they're dealing with. It's actually just a COVID-19 ward.
Damn.
When it started off, I think they had one person had it, and then everybody had it.
Damn.
So it is really contagious. But I think for most people, it's pretty similar to what I went through over the last 2 weeks, which was pretty horrible, but like a really bad dose of the flu. I mean, the symptoms were a little bit different.
Yeah.
But nothing you couldn't get over, nothing that you'd want.
No.
But nothing you couldn't get over.
Uh-huh.
But my lungs were definitely affected.
Uh-oh.
They're clear now, so I'm all right. But I train quite a lot. I've been training a lot at home. And I noticed I just didn't have the capacity to do what I normally do because it was affecting my lungs. Like sitting around and stuff, I was fine.
Wow.
But if I came to exert myself, I couldn't do it. And the biggest thing that made me think I got better was the fact that I could actually train for 2 hours without any problems.
Oh, okay. So that's when.
But someone like me who hasn't been that ill isn't going to get tested, so I don't know if I have had it or not.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the case for actually the majority of cases in the UK. The only place that's really tested effectively is South Korea.
Okay.
South Korea had a SARS outbreak a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And they didn't handle it very well. The World Health Organization made a load of recommendations. They took it all really seriously. So they did two things. They had drive-through tests where everyone could get tested.
Right.
All of Joe Public could just go and get a test straight away. And anyone who tested positive, you could track where they were using their phone on your phone. So you could avoid anybody that had it. They didn't ever go into full lockdown, and they've had some ridiculously low number of deaths because they've got a population of 50 million.
Wow.
And it's something like 1,000 deaths. I mean, we had 900 yesterday.
900 deaths yesterday.
We went through the 900 mark.
Oh, okay.
The number of deaths yesterday for the first time.
Damn.
In a day.
Damn.
So we just don't really know a lot about it.
Don't know a lot about it at all. Don't know a lot about it. So what about the theories? The theories going around. There's lots of theories. One of the theories say it pertains to the 5G rollout, network rollout. They say the last.
That's nonsense.
They say the SARS, when the SARS came, when the SARS epidemic came about, that was related to, was it the 3G or the 4G?
It'll be 4G, but they had a SARS outbreak a couple of years ago
as well. Yeah, but the main SARS outbreak, that they said that coincided with the rollout of 4G.
I don't know. I think people just look for conspiracies.
They look for
if you look at what a coronavirus is, and this is the 19th recorded version of the virus. So viruses mutate faster than anything else.
Yeah.
So part of the reason that you could get the flu every year is because
it's a different version.
It's a different version every year.
Yeah.
And this is the 19th version of corona. So coronaviruses are pretty common generally.
Yeah.
And what's different with this particular mutation is how contagious it is. So when there's a flu season, you probably get several thousand deaths.
Yeah.
But they don't all come at once.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest problem with the coronavirus is it is really contagious.
Yeah.
So most people are probably actually going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it all, because of that, everything hits at once. So anyone who's got underlying health problems, people who are over a certain age, and all the rest of it,
Yeah.
who often would get hospitalized from the flu,
Yeah.
it's all happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what will be interesting is what sort of level of immunity we have if you've had a mild dose. Because
Indeed.
if there's high levels of immunity to this version,
Yeah.
then lockdown will end quite quickly.
Uh-huh.
If you can get 2 doses, then we're in for a really long, tough ride until they got a vaccine.
Until they have a vaccine. Well, okay. So some people are going to be more resistant to it. Some people are going to be less. So I think testing is necessary just to find out who's resisting it. So
once they've got an antibody test,
yeah,
and they're trying to do one that's quite easy to do, you could just do it yourself. That's when we'll get a true picture of how many people have really had it.
We'll know how many people have truly had it, and also when we're having the tests done, it's going to be interesting. They're going to be able to see some patterns. They're going to see patterns which will be able to be shown on a chart, a graph of who's getting it, where they're getting it.
I think everybody.
How they're getting it, when they're getting it, who's not getting it, who's getting it, who's not getting it. So I think we're going to be, once increased testing comes out, I think we're going to have a better picture of the whole thing.
Well, the thing with an antibody test is that shows if you've had it and got better, more than if you've got it now. So with an antibody test, if they can widely distribute that, and it turns out that most people have actually had it, then you can end lockdown straight away.
If most people have already had it, you can end lockdown and get back to some semblance of normality. It's very strange. It's crazy. For anybody abroad who doesn't know what a dusser is, and effectively a dusser is someone who's acting pretty much like people locked down in coronavirus. I hear that some people ain't taking off their pajamas. Some people are spending the day.
It's someone who's worked hard, Raphie.
Some people are spending the day in their pajamas. So if you don't know what a dusser is, then if you're spending your day in your pajamas, then you are in the act of dusting. So that's the easiest and best analogy, the best way I can explain to anyone who does not know what a dusser is. If you're on corona lockdown and you're spending your day in your gym jams watching the soaps, getting breadcrumbs all down your pajamas and stuck in between the sofa, getting your cookies, eating chocolate chip cookies all day, you're ending up with with what do you call them? Cheeto fingers. You got your Cheeto fingers on the remote control with the Cheeto dust on it. Then
Raphie's preaching now.
That is a dusser. And it makes me feel very uncomfortable having been locked down, because it makes I hate to say it makes me feel like a bit of a dusser. Even though I'm riding my bike on a daily basis, I don't know. It ain't enough work for me.
Have you not got anything set up in the house, Raph?
I've never needed any equipment. And the equipment that I've had in the past, I've lobbed it away because I have gym access. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
no, I've had a gym membership for over 20 years.
Yeah, I work in those environments. So
yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, I've never needed anything.
In the picture there's two chairs back to back.
Yeah.
And I've got 40 kgs worth of plates doing dips. But you can do dips on the back of 2 dining room chairs.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Charles Bronson chair workout. You know what Charles Bronson is?
Yeah. I know the Charles Bronson chair workout.
Yeah, so there's the
It's hard.
Yeah. I've never seen it because I'm gonna order it. I've always thought about ordering it, and now I'm gonna order the Charles Bronson chair workout. Charles Bronson, for those who don't know, it's a famous prisoner in the UK, reputed to be a highly violent man. And he actually he's been in the prison for like about 30 years. It's crazy.
He's the sort of person that needs to be in solitary all the time. No, legitimately. Like, I think he does things to get into solitary.
He does.
He's actually got a problem.
He's a problematic prisoner, and they keep him in solitary. He's just dangerous. Although every ex-con who comes out says he's a nice guy, but they wouldn't they? Anyway,
to be honest, I'd be more afraid of someone like John Fury than Charles Bronson.
Why is that?
Well, Charles Bronson's got this reputation for everything, but all he ever seems to do is want to get himself locked in solitary as soon as he's put into general population. He's institutionalized. He needs to be in prison. He doesn't like being out and about.
Well, yeah, seems
whereas Big John, if you mess with him, he'll take your eye out with his finger. He's quite happy to do that.
Yeah.
He sees that as just part of having to handle his business, is doing the time.
Yeah.
Whereas you could avoid Charles Bronson quite easily.
You could avoid him in what way?
Well, it was over a bottle of beer, one of John Fury's.
It was a bottle of beer and his mate. The last bottle of beer.
Yeah.
Mad. But the reason I would be more, if I had to avoid one of them, the reason it would be Charles is because he's fitter, because he's got nothing to do.
Probably
all day.
There is that. I mean, I think it would be a challenge to be less fit than John Fury these days.
Yeah. I mean, he's fitter.
I think generally, whenever I look at any gypsy boxer, in between fights they struggle with the discipline. So I think generally their lifestyle is not a very healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
You
If you look at Tyson's younger brother that travels with him, is it Sean or Shane or
Tyson?
The one with the curly hair and the beard.
Yeah, I know him, but I don't know his name.
He's a very rotund gentleman.
Yeah, he's rotund, definitely.
And it's very rare that you see a gypsy boxer in the peak of physical condition. They rely on skill more than anything, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but that seems to be the way that they go. They're not relying on athleticism.
Yeah.
Or being the best trainer, or the most physically fit.
Yeah, well, that's the way. That's the reason I'd rather avoid Charles, the Bronson guy, than the Fury guy. So we pick in different guys to avoid, and that's cool.
Avoid them both.
Avoid them both. Even smarter. Big John is a dangerous man. Big Boys Boxing in the building. Pablo Diablo up in the building. AK Jr. up in the building. And as we proceed. Okay, so that's been chopped up. The Corona thing's chopped up. Okay, let me share my screen as we keep this thing moving. Okay, where are we? Boom. Hold on a sec. What's going on? What is going on? I've got too many. Let me stop sharing that. And then where are we now? What's going to happen when I press this and I press that and I press this and I press that and then I press that? Let's see what shows up. Is it blocked out or will it show up? It's going to take a few seconds. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So Ryan Garcia beating Gervonta Davis will turn me into Muhammad Ali. Damn. That's an ambitious guy. So let me use my latest trick that James showed me a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Let me get it bigger. Does it need to be any bigger than that? Boom. What's going on? Let's move this.
You in the market for a sun hat, Raphie?
I'm not, but
they're trying to sell you one.
They're trying to sell me one. I like the look of it. If I was a Japanese tourist, I'd definitely buy one of those. There's no doubt about that. So if I was a little old Japanese lady, I would get the set. So you got the hat, and you got the mask, and the visor. That is the complete thing. I might get one of those if I could get a strap on it to strap it down over my head while I'm riding. Yeah, but definitely nice little touch there. Ryan Garcia beating Gervonta Davis will turn me into Muhammad Ali. Okay, so Ryan Garcia, as we know, what does he say in the piece? I don't want to say something and then have it repeated. Okay, let me just read the piece. Okay, so Ryan Garcia has dreams of being the greatest. And he says it will all start with a win over Gervonta Davis should they ever meet in the ring. Once I beat Gervonta Davis, like I've been calling it, it's going to be like history repeats itself with Sonny Liston and Muhammad Ali, who was Cassius Clay at the time when he fought Sonny Liston. He got his respect. He was a loudmouth. Once I beat Gervonta Davis's ass, that's when they'll give me credit. Okay, I see a flaw in that argument, but it's okay. I might come back to that later. Okay, everyone was saying Muhammad Ali, he's all talk and he's all jibe. You remember all that from the documentaries. That's what they were saying. Now they're saying that about me. Okay, so there's not a contradiction. If they're saying that about him, then fair enough. I'm a effing beast. I'm telling you. Once I beat Gervonta Davis's ass, and I'm going to hand it to him, maybe twice. I'm going to hand it to him twice, just to make it clear. Just to make it clear I beat him. Okay. So I think that's Oscar De La Hoya. No, that's too butch to be Oscar De La Hoya. That's what's his name? Bernard Hopkins in the background. A random guy behind him, and Ryan Garcia. New kid on the block, signed with Golden Boy. 21-year-old Garcia has been calling out the WBA lightweight titleist Davis since scoring a knockout of the year candidate in the first round over Francisco Fonseca in February. Before and after that fight, Garcia promoter Oscar De La Hoya challenged Davis's promoter, Floyd Mayweather, to make the much anticipated fight a reality. Ali had just turned 22 years old when he first beat Liston in 1964 for the heavyweight title in his 20th pro fight. 15 months later, Ali beat Liston again to prove his first win was no fluke. Garcia won't turn 22 until August, so he still has some time to draw his own parallels to arguably sports. What? He still has some time to draw his own parallels to arguably the sport's greatest boxer of all time. They're going to give me that respect then. And then I'm going to do it like Muhammad Ali and take it to a whole nother level and start beating everyone's ass, said Garcia. You know what I want to do? I want to go every month. I don't care who it is. Just keep fighting every 2 months. I like to fight, but nowadays they want to create hype and shizzle. It's going to be hype no matter what. You know what I mean? Okay. So, yeah, I like it. Ryan Garcia is talking a big game. He wants Gervonta Davis. But Gervonta Davis is with PBC. Them boys over at PBC, it seems, have been schooled into a way of thinking, a way of life, a way of conducting a boxing business. The likes of Gervonta Davis getting fat like Miss Piggy in between each fight. I don't know if they're living like these guys. Ryan Garcia, if not mistaken, I see him training with Canelo. Some people call him Clenello. Sometimes I call him Clenello. Matter of fact, let's call him Clenello. If you want to call him Clenello, call him Clenello. See him training with Clenello. I think he's in his camp and his team. And that's some work ethic. That's some work ethic right there, being around Canelo or Clenello, whichever you want to call him. That's a guy who seems to be dedicated to his craft. Seems a bit humorless for my taste, but, dedication to the craft, you have to respect that. John D. Lee.
Which bit do you want me to start off with, Raphie?
Start where you want to start, mate.
I think he's over-talking this somewhat.
Okay.
So Gervonta Davis is just he doesn't have the full WBA title
Right.
to start off with. Lomachenko's in his division, and Teofimo Lopez are in his division.
Yeah.
They've got the two main belts, and then Haney's got the left. No, Haney's in recess, isn't he? Because he's injured.
Yeah, he's injured. He's out.
So the sort of WBC belt that was vacated when Lomachenko became franchise champions floating around. But they're two clear-cut champions, and neither of them are Gervonta Davis. So comparing him fighting Gervonta Davis to, I don't know if people really appreciate how dominant they expected Sonny Liston's reign to be. People thought that no one was going to beat Sonny Liston for decades.
Yeah, that's right.
And Gervonta Davis isn't even the top fighter in the division. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just can't get my hat on as to how he thinks he can be compared to Muhammad Ali taking on Sonny Liston when he's talking about taking on a little fat frog. I think he looks more like Kermit's overweight cousin than Miss Piggy. He looks like a frog.
I can't remember him. I can't remember his overweight cousin. Well, you mean?
Just generally. Gervonta Davis looks like a little fat frog.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was a character in the show that I've forgotten.
Yeah, no. I'm creating my own Jim Henson.
Okay. I was going to use that then.
His name is Gervonta. Because, he really is a muppet, isn't he, Gervonta Davis?
Well, yeah.
He likes putting it on women.
How can you
touching his mate AB on the bottom?
You know, prisoners today.
I have got no time for that little idiot. Haven't got any time for him because he's probably actually got a decent skill level.
Yeah,
but he is wasted talent to the nth degree.
Yeah, that's the problem.
How many weights has he failed to make, and now he's ended up at lightweight? He should be a featherweight to start off with.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, where's share my screen? Carry on, John.
So he's got no discipline whatsoever.
None.
He looked vastly unimpressive in his last fight.
Yeah.
So when Muhammad Ali took on Sonny Liston, Floyd Patterson had been dispatched. Had he lasted 3 rounds in 2 fights against Sonny Liston? Like the dominant performance Sonny Liston had put in twice against the undisputed lineal world heavyweight champion. And we're comparing that to someone who's got a baby belt. And who did he just fight? Gamboa. Over the hill. He's fought someone who's well past his sell-by date and later to a TKO on the feet stoppage, which was just a mercy stoppage anyway. So, apart from the fact that Sonny Liston's one of my favourite fighters of all time, to compare Gervonta Davis to that man is just a real disservice and dishonour.
Yeah, I think he's off a little bit. He's off by a distance. Is Ryan Garcia. Gervonta Davis is no Floyd. What's his name? Sonny Liston. No Sonny Liston. Gervonta Davis ain't no Sonny Liston. Gervonta Davis is a guy who is a PBC guy, like I said before, floats around, doesn't seem to ever want to take the top fight at any given time, at any given weight.
He doesn't even want to fight anyone in his own weight class, never mind.
Don't want to fight anybody in his weight class. He had the opportunity to fight Lomachenko, and he declined it, or he didn't accept it, or he didn't move for it. And now they're in the same weight category again. and I still don't see him fighting Lomachenko. I think you got young guys like what's he called, Devin Haney. They're going all guns blazing, trying to fight Lomachenko when the time's right, when it comes, when they're next to each other. But Gervonta Davis doesn't want to fight the best. So how could he be compared with a Sonny Liston? Is beyond my comprehension. Gervonta Davis don't want it. Gervonta Davis is a PBC guy, and you know how they roll. Sorry to say they just don't want the top fights. We've seen it all over. We've seen it all over the weight categories. Even seen it with Errol Spence. Now, I might be in the minority. I actually like Errol Spence, but I don't like the ducking and the dodging. I think it's imposed on Spence.
I don't think it's imposed on Spence. I'll tell you what I think. He's hanging around in that same circle as Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And they have poor discipline.
Yeah.
So he's an even bigger case of wasted talent.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think so, but carry on.
Well, I think so, because he keeps blowing up in weight in between fights.
Yeah.
He's not fighting frequently enough. And he's been getting away with it.
Yeah.
But he didn't do a very good job in his last fight, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Sean Porter, it's difficult to look good against him.
Yeah.
But I felt like Spence did a good job of looking bad against him. And I know it's a subtle difference, but he'd got quite a few advantages over Porter that he didn't even try and exploit.
Didn't utilize.
He's got the reach. He's a southpaw. He's got good foot. You know, Sean Porter's fast and he's like a bull out the gate. But all you got to do is use a bit of lateral movement to throw him off. When you're the longer man, you should be able to do that at least sometimes and give him something to think about when you step off to the side.
Yeah.
He didn't even try and do it though.
Yeah. Well, I think that Spence is different. I think the Spence is different from what's his name?
He's hanging around with AB.
I think
he's hanging around, getting drunk.
Yeah, I think Spence is
his Ferrari.
Yeah, I think Spence is different from Gervonta in so much as that. Well, he is fighting higher echelon guys, and Gervonta,
only because they've got a plethora of them within the PBC ranks.
Yeah, that's true. But he's fighting high caliber guys.
Well, Mikey Garcia is an example
which Gervonta isn't doing, and I think I have to suspect that if he weren't with the PBC, I think he'd be taking those fights. I think he'd be taking the Crawford fight if he was not with the PBC. I mean, at the end of the day, I perceive him to be a warrior. Is he ill-disciplined because of the company? Yeah, I think so. I think that's clear. Otherwise, you wouldn't be rolling your Ferrari 6 times, driving home from the club. But I think the company has an effect on him. I think if he was not with PBC, he'd be fighting Crawford. I think that's the difference.
I think if he wasn't with the PBC, I think his discipline would be better. I think he would be in shape. I think he'd be fighting more frequently. And I think he would be fighting tougher opposition.
Yeah, but he's with the PBC, and that's the problem.
But I think all the outside of the ring issues that he's having are connected to him being a PBC fighter.
Yeah,
it seems to be a symptom of the stable.
Yeah.
So you've got Adrian Broner, you've got Gervonta Davis, you've got the 2 Charlo twins.
Yeah.
They're all out all the time getting off the face.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying.
And that's not the lifestyle that's suited to a boxer.
The PBC umbrella, under the PBC umbrella, you got a certain lifestyle. They've got too much time off. They got money and time off, and that is a bad combination for a young sportsman. We used to have a footballer, soccer player who lived near me, one of my neighbors at one point. When the team, they bought a house, and whenever they got overseas players, they would put them in that house. So they always had someone somewhere to live when they came over. And so I got to see their timetable, and I got to see their schedule. And young guys. They were young guys, and they were, first thing in the morning, boom, off to the car. You see them go off to the training ground, come back sometime in the afternoon, and that was it. One trip, but it was every day. It's every day. So they're doing it every day for hours, every day. And I said, yeah. Well, that's a sportsman. That's a sportsman. Whereas these guys, they don't have that timetable. PBC have them lingering around fighting one time a year, maybe 1.5 times a year. And that's not good for a sportsman. But I do feel a difference in the Warrior Code between Gervonta and Spence. I think there's a difference.
I agree with you, Raphie. So I think when Spence came out and the fact that he's actually a decent Olympian as well,
yeah,
I think he did have good habits. And I think, unfortunately, he's an easily led individual. And he's got dragged into the nonsense that the BBC fighters are doing.
And I think whether you're easily led or not, I think if you're in a group that live a certain way, then it's not mandatory that you get dragged in. But it's easy to get dragged into that vortex. And it's also a mistake. It's unfortunate. Were he stronger-minded, I agree with you. If you were stronger-minded, you don't have to go out clubbing. He doesn't have to go out clubbing. He could be training. So yes, he has taken the course of least resistance in terms of the spot.
Well, Canelo's not a particularly active fighter, is he?
No, he's always in shape.
He's always in shape. Floyd, at the end of his career, was tremendously inactive, always in shape, always in the gym.
Yeah.
Andre Ward, who's a fighter that I've never enjoyed watching, but I respect him.
Yeah,
because he had a sort of period of time where he couldn't fight for quite a long time. Always in the gym, always ticking over. And for me, it doesn't matter how talented you are.
Yeah,
if you're going to be a boxer, you have to have that level of discipline.
You have to,
because you don't have a football match every week to prepare for.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to be able to do your self-directed training, even when you don't have a fight that's signed.
Yeah,
and that's how you become great. And whatever you may think about AJ's talent level, that's what he's shown he's got an ability to do. He can keep himself ticking over and training all the time.
Yeah.
And to his credit, it looks like that's what Tyson Fury's up to at the moment.
Yeah. Yes, to his credit, he recognized where he went wrong before, because he was another one of those guys who'd blow up like a hot air balloon in between fights and then have to come down. And here's another ill-disciplined one on the kebab, on the steak and kidney pies with chips, on the naan bread with the
I'm suspicious that's still good. I mean, he's just trying to train it off.
Yeah. Well, at least he's training it off.
But if you're training,
the chicken korma, he's got the chicken korma on the naan bread, washing it down with 10 pints of any lager that was available. That's what was going on over there at the Tyson household. But he has buckled down, and seems like he's changed his ways. He seems
like he's got the drinking on the head to me as well. I don't
turned the leaf. Seems like he's got the drinking under control. It seems. Well, he seems pretty lucid. Okay.
I don't think he could keep the drinking quiet, Raphie.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He can't keep that quiet. He can't.
I think he'd blow up like a balloon if he was back on the pop.
Probably would. So, addressing the chat. Okay. So B-Boys Boxing says Shane is Tyson's older brother, isn't he? I don't know if Shane's older or younger.
No, he's younger.
Shane's younger.
He's quite a lot younger, yeah. I think Tyson's the oldest though, isn't he?
Tyson might be the oldest. Shane's younger. But I don't think it was Shane you was talking about. Wasn't you talking about another brother of the brothers?
No, it was Shane. The one
you were
with
talking
curly
about
hair
Shane.
and he's got like curly hair.
I know Shane. But
beard.
he's got another brother who's quite rotund as well, shorter and rotund.
I think that generally in that family, if you look at the Peter and John, that's their lifestyle will lead you to that build,
that shape, that build.
Not necessarily because they're naturally going to go that way, but because they're poor diet and they're all quite big blokes.
Poor diets. Unfortunately, it's a carb. Let's just call it carb-based diet. let's just call it a carb-based diet. Let's make it seem like they're carbing up. They're on the carbs. Okay, so yeah, there's another brother underneath them. He's wears the glasses. He's less rotund. He's shorter, less rotund, but rotund nonetheless. Anybody who's seen my video about Tyson Fury in the best shape of his life, they're doing a little rap and a little dance together. That's the shorter brother I'm talking about. Shorter, less rotund, but rotund nonetheless. The voice waxing says, no, don't work like that, Ryan. Don't work like that. She's Biz up in the building. Yes, big up She's Biz. Everybody who's coming in here, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and follow me on Twitter if you so desire. Beating Tank is just the first step. Yeah. Beating Tank would be a marvelous feat, just getting him in the ring. Getting him in the ring with the way the PBC have kind of got them guys thinking. Getting him in the ring is a task in itself. I feel getting Tank in the ring. Yeah, you just said what I was thinking. Getting Tank in the ring will be harder than beating him. Yeah, exactly. Getting him in the ring. Getting him in the ring would be a major feat. Garcia high as hell. High as hell. There's a show called Unsolved Mysteries talking about Sonny. Yeah. Quite a few documentaries have covered Sonny Liston, but I don't like the angle they take. I like a more neutral angle. It's like they start off, they seem to go in with the angle that, yeah, he's associated with gangsters, which, yeah, there seems to be evidence for that, bro. I wish they'd take a more neutral angle and just look at his life in a more unbiased way and tell the story in a more unbiased way rather than watching a documentary where you feel they've already made a decision at the beginning of the thing rather than at the end, if you get my drift. Just got here. Can we start the chat over? That's BH. That's the God of War. Yes. Good evening, gentlemen. Okay, we've just covered what we covered. We covered Garcia and Garcia talking about Tank, and the drums signify the end of that section. Beautiful timing. Beautiful timing. Okay, let's put that to one side. Let's get that out of here and move on to the next. Why am I looking at pictures? What's the next story? What is the next story? We're streaming through this. We're streaming through this. We're breezing through this. Okay. As a matter of fact, I know what story I want to talk about next. Let's bring this thing. Let's reduce it some more. That's not the one. That's not the one. Okay. Okay. This is the one that I'm going to next. And let me. Yes, AK Jr. Mrs. back from work. Yeah, got to go. Got to make sure her dinner's nice and warm. AK Jr. Catch you the next time, bro. Good to have you in here. AK Jr. is one of the guys who have taken up my invitation to follow me on Twitter. So much appreciated for that. And as we move on, let me get my privacy screen up and share. Sharing is caring. Okay, so Joseph Parker, Junior Fire priced himself out. Wanted too much. Okay, that's the headline. And let's get into the story. Let me use my magic trick. And make this thing bigger. And line this baby up just like that. Yeah, maybe too big. Maybe take it down just a notch. Maybe 2 notches. Then back up 1 notch. And I think now we're perfect, are we? Yeah, everything fits in the screen nicely. So there were negotiations for New Zealand, a New Zealand showdown between Joseph Parker and Junior Fa, but the two sides were unable to agree on the Mo night. Parker, a former WBO heavyweight champion, and Fa, an undefeated contender, had met 4 times in the amateurs, with each boxer gaining 2 wins. So they're 2 each at the moment. Okay, that's interesting. So Parker's manager, David Higgins, stated in a recent interview that Fa was a sensible, realistic option. since both fighters were highly ranked under the WBO, with Parker ranked at 2 and Farr sitting in the number 6 position. Okay. According to Parker, Farr and his team were asking for too much money, which led to their negotiations falling apart. It was in talks. There were discussions. I said to my team, if it's going to get me closer to a title, I'll take it in a heartbeat. But they asked for Farr. They asked for too much money, and they priced themselves out. We had 4 fights as amateurs. I don't have anything against him. We both top 10 fighters. If we did fight, I wouldn't be nervous. But the winner will get closer to a world title, and the loser, it would be the end of their career. The end of their career? Damn. End of their career. Wow. After one fight. Don't know if I agree with Joseph on that. End of their career. Damn. We had 4 fights as amateurs. I read that. Parker has fought once this year, scoring a T once this year. This year, in 2020? Has it been this year? Was it this year? It was a few weeks ago. It was a month ago. Yeah, it was. That's right. It was this year. Scoring a TKO win over Sean Del Winters in February. The 28-year-old was hopeful of fighting at least 2 more times in 2020. But those plans are on hold until the coronavirus pandemic has been resolved and restrictions lifted. Parker continues to work out every day in his gym in South Auckland. You can't change what has happened. 2020 is going to be a slow year for everyone. I'm lucky to have fought at the start of the year, but the goal for our team was to keep fighting. We were planning for 3 or 4 fights this year. I'm keeping active at home. My weight is good, and that's why I'm happy. When this is all over, I can get a call to fight someone, and I will be ready. Okay, so those are the words from Joseph Parker with relation to Junior Farr. So Junior Farr priced himself out. He said he wanted, I think I read another article, I think I covered it on the show, where Parker said, or Farr said he wanted 33%. 33%. Is that pricing yourself out? Is 33% pricing yourself out? Isn't that what Parker got against Joshua somewhere in that region? 30%, 33%. Is that pricing yourself out? I don't know. John D. Lee, what say you?
Yeah, I think they've got a really overinflated opinion of themselves in that camp.
Which camp?
The Parker camp.
John D. Lee pulling no punches.
I'm just letting it rip tonight, Raphie.
Go on, John. Go on. Take the mic.
I mean, talk about a big fish in a small pond. I know a lot of the Kiwis are still hopeful that he's going to be some sort of dominant champion.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll prove me wrong. But I just think ultimately he lacks the most important thing for a boxer, and that's killer instinct. He's got some nice hands.
Yeah, he does.
He's got overrated power. So he's somebody who took the step up that Deontay Wilder never really took. He did actually start to improve his opposition, and that's when all the knockouts dried up. Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, he's skillful, so that's a different way to do it.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have. He's not competitive enough for me. You know, I mean, there was times where he could have put it on Dillian.
Yeah.
And got Dillian out of there.
Yeah.
And he left it too late.
He did.
And I don't think that's the only fight we've seen him do it in. Well,
one of the problems with Parker that I see is that he takes rounds off.
That's for me, that's a fitness issue. For definitely.
Yeah, he takes rounds off, which is likely to be a fitness issue. And that's A, takes rounds off. B, I think, and this could be a good thing or a bad thing. The jury can decide for themselves. Different situations, it's clever, and other situations, I say it's not clever. And this is, I'm referring to my belief that Parker is perhaps overly risk averse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've heard so much talk about how he's got the best chin in heavyweight boxing,
That's a good point.
but he doesn't really like to have it tested, does he?
If the chin is so good, why be so risk averse? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's bad to be risk averse. I'm saying it can be quite clever. It can be quite clever. But if the chin is so good, do you really have to be so risk averse? Risk averse is a matter of degree. Now, it is sensible and intelligent to be risk averse to a degree. Floyd Mayweather is risk averse, but in a clever way, I think. He's risk averse in a clever way because he will still pop you. A better example to me is Sugar Ray Leonard. Of course, he didn't want to get tagged in the head. We saw that. But yet, even so, we saw how he fought against Roberto Duran 1, where he just threw any form of risk averse seems almost out of the window. And he lost that fight. But then we saw intelligent application of being risk averse, where he just said, okay, I'm going to get back to the basics, which is to be hit and not be hit. And that's what he did in the second fight. Clever usage of being risk averse. Risk averse, yes, to an extent, but not being afraid to get in there in the pocket and land what you need to land and then get out. Land what you need to land and then get out. The biggest knock for me on Joseph Parker is that he is too risk averse, in my humble opinion. John Daly.
I think the best comment is hit and not be hit, whereas he verges on the side of not being hit. and that's something Floyd used to get accused of. But the difference with Floyd is, by design, in my opinion, Floyd rarely fought someone where he didn't have a reach advantage. Because Floyd's actually got, for the welterweight division, he's got a good, respectable reach.
Yeah.
So he can pop you when he's out of range, but you're in range for him. Now, in the heavyweight division, as things stand, Parker's got one of the worst reaches. So if he's out of range, he can't hit you. And that's what we saw against AJ.
Yeah.
And he decided to... AJ gets a lot of stick for that fight.
He does.
But I didn't see a lot of willingness from Parker to engage at all. And he never got hit with the right. He only got hit with the left.
Yeah.
It didn't even really take many hooks. He only allowed himself to be in range for AJ's jab, and then he went on his bike. Now, I was critical of AJ in that fight because I felt AJ was content to win a jabbing contest. Yeah. And he's admitted it subsequently that he was thinking about the Wilder fight and he just played it safe because, I mean, he must have won at least 10 of those 12 rounds.
I feel so. Some other people felt it was closer, but I felt it was a convincing win.
There was a round where he looked like Parker had done something to him. But other than that, I don't really see how you could give any of the other rounds to Parker because he wasn't throwing.
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't landing.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what you could give him a round for. There was one round I can remember him connecting. But other than that, he was either on the end of AJ's jab or he was on his bike. Yeah, risk averse. And I think the ref has been accused of protecting AJ. But I think AJ's got a better inside game than. But Parker might have fast hands. Yeah. But I'd like to know who actually believes he hits harder than Klitschko, Povetkin, or White, because I haven't seen any evidence of it. Whereas I've seen quite a lot of evidence to the contrary that he doesn't hit that hard. Yeah, indeed. So the risk averse is connected to me, the lack of fight in the dog.
Like a what? Sorry.
I don't think he's got a lot of fight in him.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, that's what the amount of fight in that particular dog is lacking, and that's why he's risk averse.
I got you.
And it's not just against AJ. I mean, he did the same thing against Andy Ruiz. He
Yeah.
bet on his bike against Andy Ruiz. He definitely took a lot of rounds off against Takam.
Yes. Yes, he did. That was a very close
fight.
fight.
I felt Takam was a bit hard done by in that fight.
That was a very close fight.
Yeah, I mean, if that had not been in New Zealand, I don't really see how Parker won that fight.
It's an exceptionally close fight. I've well before I had the channel. I've had debates, online debates about that fight. It's a very close fight versus Parker versus Takam. It was pretty much 50-50. Pretty much 50-50.
And so was the Ruiz fight. I mean, you could easily score that for Ruiz.
It was as well. The Ruiz fight as well. So yeah,
so, they're his two best wins, really.
They were his two best wins, and they were they were exceptionally close, both of them.
And then since then, he's gone on the losing streak.
Yeah,
and yet he thinks he's some sort of big star, and he's too good to even give
Junior Farr
33% of the purse.
If it was
50-50, I could understand him saying he was pricing himself out.
Yeah, if it was 50-50, I could understand that. But the article that I read and that we shared on this, shared right here on this channel, on this show, even, it was Junior Farr was asking for 33%. If I'm wrong, if I'm mistaken, I don't think I am. But if anybody thinks I'm mistaken, speak up. But I'm pretty sure that it was 33% that Junior Farr was asking for. And if it was 33%, and the Parker side is saying that he priced himself out, then I'm sorry, I would have to respectfully disagree. Okay, so BH says, I agree with Chizora's philosophy. A loss should not mean the end of a career. Keep fighting if you love to fight. Of course, the market determines what fights are offered. Yeah, the market and connections. Who you connected with, who are the people that you're connected with. Connections is a big part of the game. You got to get yourself connected, no doubt. And so we've chopped up the Joseph Parker thing. If it was 3%, 33% that Farr was asking for, then I believe that is not pricing yourself out. Not at all. Okay. And so as we move on, what time is it? How long have we been on? 1, 3, 2. Okay. I think we got time. We got time for another one. So let me choose. Hold on. Let me not make the mistake I always make. Let's actually look at and go, okay. Yeah, okay. So let's do that then. Let us do that. It's a good thing I stopped and looked at the topic sheet. So let me find that page. Let me find the relevant page, the page I'm looking for, and do that. Getting a little bit nervous now. I went all the way through, couldn't find it, but now I've found it. Now I've found what I'm looking for. So let's line this baby up. And what is this? Let's line this up properly. And let's get on into the story before I share the screen. Where are we? What's that looking like? What's that? Boom. Take that off. He wanted $1 million. Shizbiz said he wanted $1 million. What if there's 3 million available? If there's 3 million available and he wants one, that's 33%. So that's still in line with 33%. So we're talking percentages. If that
Can
was
you get Shizbiz to put whether that's New Zealand dollars or English pounds?
It's New Zealand dollars.
American New Zealand dollars.
Yeah, it's New Zealand dollars. Pretty sure it's New Zealand dollars.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound like a big ask.
That doesn't sound like a big ask, but
No.
I put it to you. Look at it a different way. I put it to you that whatever currency it was, it don't really matter because it's still 33%.
Just realistically, I suppose what I'm saying is if he said he wanted $1 million,
Yeah,
I can believe that's a third of the pot if it's New Zealand dollars.
yeah.
If it was British pounds, then I would think that's more than 33% of what they could generate.
Yeah. Pretty sure I read it. Pretty sure it was $1 million in New Zealand dollars. She's biz. If it's any kind of other kind of dollars, then speak now, my friend. Speak now. The floor is yours. But no, pretty sure there's New Zealand dollars. But whatever it was, that's 33% of the pot. 33% of the pot is 33% of the pot. And I think 33% of the pot under those circumstances is reasonable. So let me. Okay, so we're moving on. Let me share the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so hold on. Let's line this up properly. Let's get it up a little bit larger. What is that? Okay, let's see what's happening here. Okay. So, boom. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. Boxing classic turns 33 years of age this week. Okay, boxing fans worldwide, we're hunkered down for the foreseeable future. Anyway, forget about that bit. Leonard Hagler is the perfect fight to rewatch in quarantine because it remains one of the most controversial bouts ever scored. Boxing fans often have very strong opinions about which fighter deserves to win, and both sides have a compelling case. The night of the fight, Al Bernstein scored it for Hagler, Harold Lederman scored it for Leonard, and Larry Merchant scored it a draw. Although the fight is over 3 decades old, you can watch it like it's the first time you've seen it because you might just score it a different way. What's often lost in the ongoing debate about who won was how remarkable the achievement was for Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard hadn't fought in 3 years leading up to the fight, and only once in 5 years in a bout versus Kevin Howard, a performance that underwhelmed him so much that he went back into retirement. He had initially retired in '82 after undergoing surgery to repair a detached retina in his left eye. With concerns about Leonard's medical safety, 3 years of ring rust, and the fact that he was moving up to middleweight for the first time, the earliest odd posted for the fight were 6-1 in favor of Hagler. Dr. Freddie Pacheco even campaigned for the fight not to be sanctioned. As Muhammad Ali once said of Leonard, though, to be great, you've got to have heart. And Ray's heart was bigger than all the rest. Muhammad Ali said that. Damn, that's a high praise indeed. I know exactly what it takes to beat this man. But people say, well, Ray, 2 years of inactivity, you'll be rusty. No. He will eliminate the rust because he is what I want and I am what he wants. And boxing needs that kind of fight, and it said in a television interview. Okay, so there we go. Hagler versus Leonard. We're going to talk about, John and I are going to talk about our memories, recollections, feelings about that fight, and I may pull it up. I feel it's the appropriate thing to do. Should read a little bit more of this, even though it bores me reading this shizzle. Estimates are that there were up to 1,600 closed circuit. HBO paid a whopping $3 million to simply replay the fight 5 times. Not interested in that. Even 33 years later, no fight has truly equaled Leonard Hagler in terms of its combination of narrative, intrigue, high stakes, caliber of opponent, and in the ring brilliance. Also, lost in the debate over the scorecards is the fact that it was also the 1987 Ring Magazine Fight of the Year, a tremendous battle between two of the greatest of all time. Let me see if there's any other pertinent point that I should maybe touch on before I look for a video. No, I'm satisfied with that. Okay. John Dealey, you want to talk about your recollections of that fight while I look for?
Yeah, there's two things that stick out in my mind about that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty young when that fight happened.
Yeah, me too, John. Me too.
I think I was 10.
Yeah.
But we used to get those sort of fights on
TV, terrestrial TV.
Yeah, what was it? Grandstand on ITV with Dickie Davis.
Yeah.
Sure, it was on ITV, those ones.
Yeah, I can't remember what channel it was on, but yeah, most likely ITV, yeah.
Because I used to watch all the Four Kings then. Used to get Tommy Hearns on there all the time as well. Yeah. All of them.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was always like the week after on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So the two things that stick out in my mind, and if you want to see a similar fight to it now, for me, is actually Tyson Fury Wilder 1.
Wilder 1.
And what I'm getting at is, and I think Tyson Fury is fully aware of this fight, that the last sort of minute to 30 seconds of each round is when he chose to be active.
Who?
And sell that he's winning the round.
Look, Leonard.
Yeah, so Tyson Fury in this analogy is Leonard.
Uh-huh.
I can't compare Deontay Wilder to Marvin Hagler. I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is, what Leonard did for me in that fight was sell that he was winning because it was so close.
Yeah.
So he was active at the end of each round to make it look like he knew when that we're all victims of this. The last thing you see is what sticks in your head.
Yeah.
You know, if someone's looks like they're winning the round at the end of the round, you may have forgotten what's gone on earlier in the round. So that's one thing. The other thing about it, which is more interviews with Leonard quite a long time after the event, he's pretty much admitted he didn't want to fight Hagler. And he'd avoided Hagler and he ducked him.
Yeah.
And they went for a meal together. And Leonard was posing as a friend in this meal.
Leonard was posing as a friend in the meal, and then he got marked because the fight had gone past. And I heard the same story. The fight had gone past because prior to that, Leonard had punked Marvin Hagler when he called a meeting, or he called a big function. People got guests. Everybody was in there in black tie, dicky bows, and what have you, including Hagler, who Leonard had called. And in that party, everybody thought it was to announce Leonard v. Hagler, but it wasn't. It was actually Sugar Ray Leonard punking everybody, including Hagler, by announcing his retirement.
Yes, so in the period where Leonard is retired, he went for after that retirement.
Yeah.
Hagler and Leonard went for a meal together.
That's right.
And he got Hagler at ease, talking as if he's his friend.
Yep.
And Hagler's talking about how he's not sure really if he's motivated to keep fighting.
That's right.
And if he really wants it anymore, the training's getting to him.
Let's look at the tail of the tape for this.
Yeah. And Leonard's quite open that that's when he decided he thought he wanted to fight him.
Yeah, I think it was a snake move.
I know that I thought that was I know you're quite a big Hagler fan.
You're massive.
And on the station, you told me that you felt Leonard was a bit of a snake. And when you said that, I knew that you were talking about this sort of admission of Leonard.
100%. 100%. That's exactly it. It was a snake move. And don't get it twisted, for those who don't know, I was a massive Leonard fan, and I was also a massive Hagler fan. But when Leonard did what he did, I'm wondering if this is too fast. I'm wondering if I'm going to get thrown off YouTube for playing this thing, but I want to play it. I I want to play it. I want to. I'm pretty sure it's amazing because it's slowed down. I've slowed it down some, but it still looks like normal time. I'm going to share. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to share if I need to sacrifice this edition. And so be it. I will sacrifice it to let me line this baby up. This is kind of funny as hell because it's slowed down, but it looks like normal speed. You're going to see for yourself in a second. You're going to see for yourself in a second. This is Raphie taking a risk for the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio crew. Let me line this baby up. Let me just press share. Let me go with it. Let me not be scared. Let me not be scared. Let me just read this first. Leonard Hagler, the style you prefer probably indicates who you thought won. Me, I like both, but I thought Hagler won. I'm going to tell you my views in a second, but first we're going to do this scary maneuver because I've slowed the damn thing down, but it still looks like it's in normal speed. How you like that? Am I sharing? I think I am sharing. This is actually slowed down, folks. This is mad. Looks like normal speed. I don't know if you can see it yet. Maybe that thing I put up on the screen is blocking it. We're about to see in a few seconds. I don't know. Am I blocking it with that? Yeah, I think I am. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Go back into this. Get that picture out of the way. Boom, out of the way. And now if I share again, we shall see. This is a big risk, but I'm prepared to sacrifice it for this, the 30th. It's the 33rd year of this fight. And let's just even go the whole hug. Let's go the whole hug and bring the whole damn thing up. Where are we? Where are we? Okay, there we are. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about my views and feelings on this thing. I was a massive Sugar Ray Leonard fan. I was a kid. My dad said, watch this guy. I said, oh, cool. Who? He said, that guy. I said, who is he? He said, he's Sugar Ray Leonard. And he's damn good. And so, yeah, I became a Leonard fan. When I saw his skills, Dad told me about his Olympic pedigree and all of this shit. I said, oh, that's cool. Let me watch him. Oh, yeah, you're right, Dad. He's amazing. Okay. And so I was a fan of Sugar Ray Leonard for years. Bearing in mind, my favorite fighter of all time is Muhammad Ali, formerly Cassius Clay. Bear in mind that when I first went in the gym, that's the guy I tried to emulate, Muhammad Ali. So as you can see, Sugar Ray Leonard is like a lighter version of Muhammad Ali. And so, yeah, that's all cool in the gang. So you can see why, for me, liking Muhammad Ali, I was going to like Sugar Ray Leonard. You can see that. I don't know. Am I going to get in trouble for this? Am I going to get in trouble for this? So I'm going to play around, make it different. I'm going to make it up and down, move it around and around a little bit and move my cursor. That should confuse the thing, should confuse the algorithm. What am I going to do? I'm going to move it up and down. What happens if I do that? What happens? What happens if I do that? I haven't seen no change on my screen, but there's a 10-second delay. Oh, that happens. Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, just jinking around. So, and then, of course, Marvin Hagler was around at the same time period. And I like Marvin Hagler. I like Sugar Ray Leonard because of his silky skills. Look at the way he bounces. Look at the way he bounces. Bear in mind, this is slow-mo, my friends. And I liked him for Sugar Ray Leonard for his silky skills. I liked Marvin Hagler for other reasons. If you look at the jab, okay, not his jab. Get out of the way. Get out of there. Just let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Marvin Hagler, when we see his jab, hold on, give it some time. Okay, but like the way he switched as well. Okay, let's talk about the switch hitting too. Yeah, so southpaw, but he could go orthodox like nothing without telegraphing it. Just the change of the feet. Okay, we're not seeing the jab from him right there. But when we do see the jab, it's a nice jab. It's a nice jab. It's technical, and it's nice, technically correct. There you go. Switch positions again. Technically correct, but he wasn't flashy. Look at the flashy. Look at the flashy Sugar Ray Leonard. Look at the tassels. Look at the tassels. But look at Marvin Hagler now. Look at him. Look how he covered up. Nothing hit him. So he covered up nicely. Let me move this forward so we can actually see his jab. Let me move this forward so we can actually see the jab of Marvin Hagler. Okay, touched him there. Sugar Ray Leonard touched him there. Okay, he slipped that with the parry. You hear me talking about the parry? Okay, nice hook came in with the lead hook there. So we're not going to see the jab because I want to talk about the jab. But okay, whatever. But look at the positioning. Look at the positioning. This is artistry. This, ladies and gentlemen, is artistry. Look at this. Look at this. It's like the mongoose versus the cobra. The mongoose versus the cobra. Maybe I could bring up something like that so anybody who don't know what I'm talking
two
about.
Nice jabs to the body there.
Yeah, really? I think I was talking so much I missed it.
He gets down low, jabs into the chest twice. Just nice. Just
nice.
touching him. He's not really putting anything on him. But
No, he's not putting anything on it because yeah, you can speak up as well, John, because see what you see, because it's the cobra against the mongoose. It's the cobra against the mongoose. So
that's a precise analogy, really, isn't it? Because
yeah.
But what's good about Hagler for me in this is he's not getting bamboozled.
No,
with the movement. He's being economic. He's always there. And we're talking about someone who's had arguably the three best movers are Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and Leonard. Yeah. Arguably, anyway.
Arguably. They're up there at the top of the street. Either way, any which way you want to cook it. And look at Hagler now. You see how he covered up? And then what? Even though he's in the clinch, he's still tapping in the liver area. It's still the floating rib. He's still tapping him in the floating rib. Those things are accumulative. They're not heavy, but they're accumulative. And look,
you only got to tap that short rib.
Yeah.
You keep tapping that all night. People
keep tapping that, mate. You're gonna know about it. There he is, and he's still doing it again. Then an uppercut. You see, in the clinch, this is clinch work, my friends. This is clinch work. In the clinch, he's not resting. He's still tapping him in the floating rib, and then he came up with an uppercut. And look at the defensive work. Look at the defensive work. Marvin Hagler never knocked out. I don't know if he was knocked down. I think one man put him down, or maybe no man put him down. I don't know. But never
ever touched, because they talked about how he had a thicker layer of muscle.
That's what I heard.
Temple and other areas of his head.
That's what I heard.
Because there's all that shock in my favourite Hagler fight, which is not this one. The Hearn's fight.
Yeah.
I watched that a lot. There's a lot of shock that actually Hagler got hurt even.
So watch here now. Look at this. The cobra against the cobra against the what did I say earlier on? Mongoose. Cobra v mongoose. Pick who you think is which. Cobra v mongoose. But look at the movement here. Look at the movement. Now let's see who hits first, and whoever hits first is probably going to be successfully defended. Watch this. Okay, it was Leonard, and it was successfully defended. Didn't touch. Look at this poetry. Tell me this isn't poetry. Tell me in the chat that this ain't poetry. Okay, Leonard got in with a right there, threw the jab and got in with the right on the temple of Hagler.
Just as a point of fact, I'm still struggling to say who's doing the better work.
Exactly.
Like whichever way you're scoring this.
Yeah, exactly.
Counter argument.
Exactly.
They're so evenly matched. It's just
and they're both at the top. Well, let's qualify that. Hagler wanted to. Oh yeah, I might as well tell the story while we're here. Hagler wanted to. Actually, let me just do a little thing to confuse any little algorithm that's watching me right now. Move it up and down, and then go back. Boom. Okay, so Hagler had wanted to retire. Oh yeah, we talked about this. Hagler wanted to retire. He talked about it too. This is from a story I read from an interview from Hagler. I wasn't there when he said it, but it's what was written in the interview, and I think he's echoed similar sentiments elsewhere. So it's not an isolated interview. So okay, so Hagler said to his managers, the Petronellis, the two brothers, the Petronelli brothers. I think they were his managers. Yeah. That's right. And trainers, managers and trainers. Conflict of interest. I don't know. You decide. You're the jury. told him that he wanted to retire. Thought it was time to retire. This is before the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. And when he got the offer, because he'd effectively retired. He said in his mind he'd retired already. But they got the offer for the Leonard fight, and it was an attractive offer financially, very, very attractive. And he had to talk it over with his managers, the Petronelli brothers, his managers who were his trainers. And he said they convinced him to fight on. He said he could do it. But he said in his heart he didn't want to do it because he'd retired. And then he told Leonard that. So that's consistent. Different sources saying the same thing. They convinced him to talk to him and say, yeah, man, you got it in you. Even though he wanted to retire and he wasn't even thinking about Leonard no more. Leonard had already retired years before. And talked him into it. And so is this Marvin Hagler at the very peak of his game? No. Is this Sugar Ray Leonard at the very peak of his game? No. But they're still good. They were still damn good. But remember, bear in mind, this is Hagler. This is Hagler's last fight. And so bear that in mind. He's still great, still fantastic, still, as you know, my second favorite fighter of all times. But this was a brilliant fight. It was a fight of the year, ring fight of the year, 33 years ago. So that's some backdrop. How do I feel about the fight? Because that's why we're showing this. We're not going to watch the whole thing, obviously. How do I feel about the fight? Well, Hagler was my favorite guy, boxer at that time. But Sugar Ray Leonard was very crafty, and he did what John Dealey said. The end of the rounds, timed it, and I think when the fights and the rounds are close, those little flashy bursts. I think Leonard got the edge because of his flashy bursts, and he got super fast hands, and he used them to good effect in short bursts. Also during the fight, but primarily, oftentimes at the end of the rounds. There you go. So Hagler got in good uppercuts there to the face, 2 and 1 to the rib, hook to the rib, and he's always scoring to the rib in close quarters. And so I think the judges gave it to Leonard based on those flashy bursts, and I think that's they can't be discounted. Flashy bursts cannot be discounted because they're scoring. He was hitting them with those flashy bursts. I wished that Hagler could have finished his career on a win, but the flashy bursts. I was hit behind the head, but that's how it goes. But those flashy bursts, that's a good technique Leonard just used there. That's a good technique. You just hit him upstairs and then just crouch down, covered up and crouched down. That was clever, but very clever fighter. The flashy burst edged it for the judges.
I mean, if you're going to talk about ring IQ, I think Leonard's got better ring IQ than Floyd.
Yeah, because there's a good argument for that. There's a good argument for that because he's attacking. He all throughout his career, he was an attacker as well as defensive.
He could woo you into the idea that he's winning when it's a close fight.
Yes.
And that's serious ring IQ. Because I mean, we've been on there, and I've said it on previous occasions that I felt Fury Wilder 1 was actually a very close fight.
Fury Wilder 1, I believe so.
But Tyson Fury sold
to
the general public that he was winning the fight.
Yes. And it seemed like he was hitting way more often than he actually was. A lot of that stuff was jinx.
Yeah. But it's by design.
Yeah, very clever.
So it's ring IQ.
It is.
And so when you got someone like Leonard, who's, I mean, the different styles that he fought against, you got Benitez,
Wilfredo Benitez,
you got Duran, you got Hearn,
Roberto Duran, and Thomas the Hitman Hearns out of the Kronk gym.
He'd got the ring IQ to take on all those very different styles and always look good.
Well, what's craftier than a snake?
Well, a mongoose.
There you go. There you go. You see, you got the snake and the mongoose. Them are the apex. Them are the apex when it comes. They're at the height when it comes to craftiness. What's the mongoose? Is nothing if not agile and mentally and physically extremely agile. And then you got the snake, the slithering snake. Don't make a sound. No footsteps. You never hear a snake until it wants you to hear it. And so, Leonard, as much as he's a hero of mine, he really blotted his copybook with the way he handled and dealt with Hagler. But, sometimes, the snaky one, sneaky, they can prevail sometimes, even though they're not the most straightforward of characters. Sneaky ways can work.
The counter argument to Raphie is, he was a welterweight. I mean, I know he was a big welterweight.
Yeah.
But Hagler was always pulling smaller guys up to fight him.
He wasn't.
Partly,
oh, that's the counter argument. Carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, partly because the big names were in the welterweight division at the time.
Yeah.
And there weren't big names in the middleweight division.
You're talking about the likes of Thomas Hearns, aren't you?
Well, did Hagler fought Duran as well, didn't he?
Hagler fought Duran as well. Yeah, that's true.
So Duran's a lightweight.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, the fights that I remember from Hagler, I think they were legit. I think they were against
all the legit middleweights. He beat all the. What I'm getting at is, Hagler was outshone in terms of star power.
Yes,
by the welterweights.
Yes,
and he felt he didn't get the recognition for it. That's why he changed his own name to Marvelous.
Yeah,
because he didn't feel that he was getting his credit.
That's true.
And a lot of it was the very big names were in the welterweight division.
Yeah. I see the counter argument. That's a good counter argument.
So for Leonard, he's fighting the bigger man.
Yeah, he's that's a good counter.
He's looking for the advantage. Now, me personally, out of all of them, I like Tommy Hearns the best.
Tommy Hearns, the Hitman. Tommy the Hitman Hearns out of the Crunk gym.
I just like the way he fights.
Trained under Emmanuel Stewart. Yeah.
The problem with Tommy was his chin.
Yeah.
But in terms of boxing, the way that he boxes, I like that style. That's the style that I appreciate. Tommy can do everything except for hold a punch.
Well, also, didn't he have a cardio issue? Don't I remember a cardio issue with Tommy?
Not always.
Okay, not always.
No,
not always. But when in those firefights he had with Marvin Hagler and Ray Leonard, the problem with him in those fights with Marvin Hagler and Ray Leonard is not only the chin, but he gassed out as well.
Well, I think it's a bit. I'm not sure he did gas out against Marvin.
Okay.
They threw some serious leather. And how many rounds does it go? 3 or 4?
Three.
So he got clocked, and he knew he was clocked. Marvin seriously hurt him.
Yeah.
And I think he was away with the fairies because he actually turns his back on Marvin, and Marvin runs after him and gets rid of him.
He was away with the fairies. He was.
But in prior round, it was probably a Hearns round.
Yeah.
And he'd cut Hagler that bad that I think by Hagler's own admission, he knew he had to get Hearns out of there or the doctor might stop it.
Had to.
And it was from a punch.
Yeah.
So he knew he'd lose if it got stopped.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really call that gassing. I would give Marvin some serious credit for that.
Yeah.
If you want to say he gassed against
Leonard.
But Leonard's got one of the most superior engines out there of all time.
Yeah, he did.
So, and the way that he moves, you could make someone gas quite easily.
Yes, you do gas. You do see, with loading up on the punches like Tommy the Hitman's Hearns did, and against a guy like the Snake.
Especially missing.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. When you wind up and then you put everything into a punch and then you miss, that is, there's a price to pay for that. There's a price to pay for that in terms of your fuel systems. Missing with a heavy punch is extremely taxing. So here we looked at. So ultimately, I think we're going to have to say, this is the last piece. Ultimately, we're going to have to say who we thought won the fight and why. Over to you, John Daly. Talking about this fight.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna upset you. I'm gonna give it to Leonard.
That's not upsetting to me because unfortunately, I gave it to Leonard too with the flashiness.
Well, yeah. I two things. When it's that close and you've got to pick between it, it's the IQ that he's showing.
Yeah.
Even things like doing the bolo punches and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It makes you look like you're in control.
Yes, it does.
Whereas Marvin's going about his business in a work-like manner, in a very effective manner.
Yeah. Nice. Right. Left there.
Things like hitting someone in the clinch in the short rib.
Yeah. Often not scored.
Well, the thing is, what you're doing with that is putting money in the bank to slow someone down.
Yeah.
Now, if it doesn't really slow him down, you haven't put anything in the bank, have you?
Well, yeah. And certainly.
So it's a good tactic for a mover, but then you've got to give Leonard the credit to actually carry on going.
Yeah.
And moving and ducking and jiving and selling the fact that he's winning.
Yes, he went.
That's my argument for him winning.
Yeah. Unfortunately, damn, not an exchange. Let's rewind that. Let's bring that back. So as we see, Leonard holding there. Both fighters got tired. Both fighters got dog tired. But Leonard towards the end, understandably. But Leonard, the snake, just got those snaky ways, got those snaky, sneaky punches. Marvin Hagler, more workman-like. When you the workman versus the showman, which is what it was, the workman versus the showman, but it's the showman who was very accurate, and he had a lot of heart too. Like Muhammad Ali said, never seen that quote before. He did have a lot of heart, but guess who else had a lot of heart? Marvin Hagler, but with the faster hands, with the flashy bursts, even though a lot of those punches missed, still looks good. And so even though it could have been scored for Marvin Hagler, oh damn, chipped over his feet there, that don't look good, but it's still scoring there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Miss with that one.
Do you think that's because he's trying to shift when he's tired? He looks like he's shifting stances there.
Yeah.
So he's going to look clumsy once.
Yeah. And also reaching. He was reaching. So
yeah, because I mean, if you look at Leonard at this stage, Leonard's started to get clumsy by his standards.
Yes, he is.
But because he's got the reach and he's not shifting, i.e., changing stances.
Yeah.
It's not as obvious that he looks clumsy.
Yeah. To me, it's an equal fight. It was an equal fight, but because of Leonard's flashy outbursts, it's understandable. Doom! Look at that left hook there. That's a beautiful left hook from.
But you've got to give credit for the ring IQ to do that as well.
Yes, totally. But I think Flash, ultimately for me, Flash won this fight, and the flashy one was Leonard. I think Flash won the fight. Well, it pains me to say that. What round is this? It's the 12th and final round. And yeah, so grieves me to say it. Well, I have to be honest. I thought that Flash won the fight, and that came from not unexpectedly. Those flashy outbursts came from Leonard, although it's a very even fight. But Flash edged it. Flash may have edged it.
I'll tell you one thing, Raphie.
Yeah.
If it had been a 15-round fight, it would have been interesting.
That would have been very damn interesting.
Because the thing is, Marvin really needed to knock him out.
Yeah.
And he's put all that work in on the short rib. But if he had another 3 rounds, could he have done it?
Could have paid. But we will never know. It was 12. It was a 12-rounder. Flash won it. Flash won the fight. Like just there, 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Did they land significantly? Not particularly, but it was
They
flash.
said they were hitting the arms, but
Yeah.
your attention's drawn to the speed, isn't it?
Speed, the flash. Flash won the fight. That's why Flash.
And the way he's dodging his face, he looks unconcerned because he's got the reach.
Mm.
He's not in a guard.
Yeah.
It makes him look even more in control.
Makes me more in control. He's got that poker face. The expression doesn't change. Look at that now. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. Look at people standing up. Look at people standing up. Nothing there bothered Marvin Hagler, but that flashy outburst like that sprinkled throughout the fight, won the fight for Sugar Ray.
But the other thing, I think also because Marvin's in a bit more of a crouch, he's been more defensively responsible.
Yeah.
He looks like it's bothering him.
Yeah.
He's just in his normal fighting stance.
That's his normal fighting stance. Sugar Ray Leonard, master technician and tactician. I'm gonna have to give it to Sugar Ray Leonard, even though my favorite fighter of the two was Marvin Hagler. But I was a fan of both of them. Let's be honest.
But if you want entertainment, for me, Hagler Hearns is the entertaining fight.
Yeah, well, that's got to be one of the best fights of all time. Got to be one of the best fights of all time.
It's my favourite to just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
I like demolition jobs, so I like watching.
Hell yeah!
George take out all the opponents.
Yeah, hell yeah!
But you couldn't really call Big George poetry, could you?
No. I like the poetry and the demolition, and that was Hagler Hearns. Poetry and demolition. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's come out of that. Let's drop that down. I don't know. It seems like we've come such a long way. It seems kind of silly not to see the finale. It's only 34 seconds to go. Yeah, look at that. Look at the flash. Look at the flash. Boom. Look at that flash. Tired. Of course he's tired. Of course
even though he's going backwards, because he's bouncing nicely on his feet,
Yeah.
It looks like he's doing something.
Master technician.
I think also
tactician.
the fact that you'd already had Muhammad Ali,
Mm-hmm.
because these sort of things used to get criticised when Ali started doing them.
Yeah.
With Cassius Clay.
Yes.
But after, in the post-Ali era, looking like your Ali.
Oh my God. OMG.
That's why I was talking about a 15-round fight.
Look at that.
He clung on. He really clings on. But you've got to give him credit for his chin because he's a welterweight.
Yeah.
And Marvin was a mean puncher at middleweight.
Look at that. Jeez. It's coming. It's a left hook. It's a left hook. It's coming when he gets on the ropes. Look at this. Jeez.
Yeah, it's clean.
Woo. Coming again. It's coming again. And when he gets back on the ropes. Boom. OMG. And give respect and credit where respect is due, because that was a heavy shot he just took at Marvin. Sugar Ray Leonard just ate. Jeez. You know what? I'm going to give him both credit. Credit's due. Give him credit where it's due. Even the snake versus the mongoose, the snake one. Okay, fair enough. Credit where credit is due. I'm going to get over it now because this. I think this is watching this again has been cathartic.
Have you had enough time to forgive him now?
I'm beginning to forgive him. I think.
You're not fully there yet.
No. They'll never be full forgiveness.
Raphie.
Full forgiveness will never be.
23 years on. 23 years on.
And I'm still carrying the grudge like yesterday. Still carrying the grudge.
Well, I'm gonna have to be careful around you sometimes, Raphie, because I'm not a particular fan of Muhammad Ali.
I know that. But you disclosed that earlier on, so I can forgive you.
The thing is, I'm a fan of the man,
but
not the boxer.
Well, I respect people who said that. Who else said that recently? Who else said the same thing recently? It's a boxer. I don't know. It's a boxer that I like. And he said he's not a fan of Muhammad Ali. I said, how could you? Oh, yeah, it was Nigel Benn. He said he wasn't a particular fan of Muhammad Ali's style, but I understand that because he couldn't conceive Ben couldn't, as much as I love Ben could not conceive of moving like Muhammad Ali. Ben always looked like he had 2 left feet, to be honest.
Well,
You always look like you had.
I'm not a Nigel Ben fan as
Yeah.
a boxer anyway. I'm much
Yeah.
more of a Eubank fan.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. There was a big are you Ben or Eubank, and I was a big Ben fan. Even though I know Eubank was good, and I remember the girl I was dating at the time. Shout out to Claire from down in, where is it, Edmonton, London. I was down them sides at that time, and she was up here, and took her around to see a mate of mine, just pop in, visiting, socializing, and we was talking about boxing, and she came out with a line. It made the both of us be quiet. It made the both of us be quiet. And she said, we're talking about boxing, and Ben and me and my buddy, who were big Ben fans, and talking about boxing, and we were criticizing Eubank a little bit. And she said, well, one thing about Eubank is he wins. And, we both were silent because, so damn, she's right. You can say what you want to say about the guy, but hey, he wins. And so, yeah, I never disregarded Eubank. I did watch his fights. Did kind of like
it was easier to like Nigel Ben as a person.
I grudgingly liked Eubank, but he was grudging. But Ben, yeah, I was big Ben fan, because despite his shortcomings, despite the fact that he looked like he had 2 left feet all the time, and then it's crazy that both of those guys put an opponent into a vegetative state. Chris Eubank. Oh yeah, that's probably another reason I had a grudge against Chris Eubank, because I preferred Michael Watson. I preferred Michael Watson. Michael Watson was on his way to beating him, knocked him down, and Chris Eubank got up off the canvas like a true warrior. I think he was at the very next punch. He put Michael Watson in a vegetative state. I don't say that in any kind of sarky way. I'm just saying what happened. That's what happened.
Well, it certainly isn't a sarcastic thing to do. That's probably the technical term, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what happened.
But I don't think Eubank was the same after that.
He wasn't the same after that, and same applies to Nigel Ben after he did what he did to Gerald McClellan, which, once again, I have to controversially say, despite what happened to Gerald McClellan, has got to be one of my favorite fights of all time. Nigel Ben versus Gerald McClellan. I throw the gauntlet down for any man to tell me a more exciting fight than that. There were other fights that you can say, Hagler, Hearns. Yeah, sure, no problem. And there are other fights throughout the history of time. But for me, that has got to be one of the most exciting fights in the history of boxing.
Yeah,
Ben versus McClellan.
It's up there.
Yeah,
it is up there.
Yeah.
My issue with Muhammad Ali is a couple of things. The first one is he gets a lot of credit for fighting Cleveland Williams.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be Muhammad Ali at his peak.
Okay.
But if you go back and watch the fight, Cleveland Williams, who'd fought Sonny Liston twice in the 50s.
Yeah.
In between fighting Sonny Liston and fighting Muhammad Ali, Cleveland Williams was from the South and had been shot by a police officer in the hip. And it was his left leg was withered as a result.
Damn.
And if you actually look, you can see it in that fight, and that's why he goes over every time. It isn't the power of Muhammad Ali. It's the fact that his front leg is withered. So he's not got his legs under him because he's been shot by a policeman.
Yeah.
And that's considered to be the sort of best fight from Muhammad Ali's first part of his career.
Okay.
Now, if you watch the 2 Sonny Liston fights when it's a fully fit Cleveland Williams.
Yeah.
Have you seen over those 2 fights?
No, never watched.
They're on YouTube. You can watch them. You can watch them full. Go and watch her
Yeah.
and see what Sonny Liston did to him. And he dismantles him in a few rounds. And they're good fights to watch. If you actually want to see how good Sonny Liston was, and then you go back and watch what's supposed to be Muhammad Ali's finest hour, against a man with a gimp leg.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all out there for everyone to know. It wasn't. It's not a secret. He got shot by a policeman. So that's one of the things.
Yeah.
There's a few other issues I have.
Yeah. But we're gonna save those.
Yeah.
Save those.
I won't drag them all up, but what I will say is, as a man, who stood by his principles, you can't fault him.
He was amazing. He was definitely on my Muhammad Ali. We're talking about formerly Cassius Clay is definitely on my Mount Rushmore, standing at the top of my Mount Rushmore of boxers, certainly in my lifetime. That's what I will say. But before we wrap this thing up, this baby up in this COVID-19 environment, crazy times. What are we going to do? We're going to look at some comments. Is this Hagler? The style you prefer probably indicates who you thought won. I like both, but I thought Hagler won. Yes, BH, that is the general consensus. Leonard was the crowd and media favorite. Hagler had more working class appeal. I liked his non-flashiness. I liked Hagler's non-flashiness. And then, of course, I liked Sugar Ray's flashiness. But it was intelligent. It was intelligent flash. It was effective. It was effective flash. What a great boxing era that was. 100%. Smarty Jones up in the building. BH up in the building. We also have not shouted out. Shouted out everybody else. Hagler won that fight. Hagler was stiffed. Say Smarty Jones. BH. Ali had the magic, but was too cruel with his comments about Frazier. Being from Philly, I had a soft spot for Frazier. We're gonna do a Muhammad Ali thing as well. We're gonna be it's gonna be a feature. We're gonna be doing. So
when's that planned for, right?
That one we're gonna do Ali next week. Probably next Thursday. I'm gonna see if I get any copyright issues with this one. But next Thursday we will do Ali. We're gonna do one fight per week.
Which one are you gonna do?
I don't know yet, but you're in contact with me via our
We can,
so you can make a suggestion. You can make a suggestion.
I'll send you some links for the Sonny Liston fights. Yeah,
certainly. Yeah, you can make some suggestion. Everybody can make suggestions about which fight they want to see us cover next week. I'm going to see what the copyright issue is, or if any copyright issues arise from this one. And if not, then we're certainly going to be doing one a week. We're going to talk about one a week every Thursday. We're going to talk about a historic fight every Thursday in the COVID era. When it goes back to normal, non-COVID era, we're going to go back to Wednesday nights. The mid-week show will return to Wednesday nights. If I had my way, it would always be on a Thursday. I don't know. I like the spacing that way, but I work on a Wednesday evening, of course, in the COVID era. Working, that's not going on now for many of us. So, I think we've chopped up that nicely, gone through a range of topics. The screen looks strange to me. Oh, maybe because I'm not sharing myself. So I think we covered Ryan Garcia. We covered, let me go to the title piece. We covered Barry Hearn, the 90s, the poll tax era. Barry Hearn, a boxing icon for me. Was he a boxing icon for you, John Dealey? I only realized it when I heard he had the heart attack, and I felt kind of shook. And I thought, why do I feel this way? Let me take a look at some pictures from the era. Went to my computer and I started up dragging up pictures from 1990. And then I thought, and I looked at who he's working with, the Eubanks, the Watsons, the Bens. And I thought, wow, well, that's the era. That's the British era. That's the era when I didn't stop watching American boxing, but I didn't have to look to America for boxing anymore. With the emergence of Ben, Watson, Eubank, that was a pivotal moment.
Don't forget Collins.
Collins, who? Which Collins? American Collins? The Irish Collins?
Irish Collins.
Well, Irish Collins came after though. Irish Collins came
After.
Irish Collins came when those guys were at the end of their careers.
Yeah.
He was fighting over in America he was also with the Petronellis. He was fighting in America. So Collins had 2 fights or 3 fights in the UK. Hold on. Didn't he have 2 fights with Ben?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and he finished their careers. But to be honest with you, I'd stopped. The last fight I watched of Ben was Sugar Boy Malinga when he got beat by Sugar Boy Malinga. And that was, he got beat by Sugar Boy Malinga. And I thought, well, he's over. It's over. And I stopped watching Ben. And then he fought Collins at a time when I stopped watching him because I wanted him to retire because he was finished to me.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I've never been a big Nigel Ben fan. I've never been that sold on his ability.
Yeah. Well, he's knocking people out, though, on the counter argument.
Right. For me, he's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah.
And he's an easy guy to like.
Yeah.
But
you didn't like
very limited fighter.
Yeah. He was limited, but he got the job done within his limitations. I'm
not knocking him.
No. I'm doing the counter argument because you're the one side and I'm the other. Yeah.
So I just felt Eubank was the better athlete. And although he's a bit unorthodox with the way that he fought, he got some serious power going on in his pump.
Absolutely.
Some serious power.
Absolutely. He was a
and I think people were sucked into this silly persona that he put out there.
Yeah.
But in the ring, Eubank's the real killer.
Yeah, he was a killer. I think on the other side of the fence, which was where I am, I think Nigel Ben beat him the second time around. I think it's 1-1. Remember the game?
I'm all right with that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, Eubank didn't want to hurt anybody after what he did to Watson.
Yeah. On the other side of the fence is where I am. I would say the same for Nigel Ben. He wasn't the same after what happened.
No, I'm happy with that. And I felt that Ben was in better shape. And you could definitely argue outwork Eubank in the second fight. But it just there's only one fight between them for me, really.
Yeah, that was that first fight.
The second one, it was just the gap's too far.
Yeah, the gap's too far. They were on the.
They were at the end. I mean, even the fact that it was at super middle.
Yeah, they were at the end. They were at the end of their careers. Like I said, the last fight I watched of Nigel Ben was when he lost to Sugar Boy Malinga. Pretty sure that's what his name was, Sugar Boy Malinga. Malinga, anyway. I'm pretty sure it was Sugar Boy. And I knew it's a wrap. That was a wrap, and I didn't watch his fights with Collins, because I knew he was finished at the Sugar Boy Malinga. I also knew that Collins was in America working under the Petronellis, and I also knew that he wasn't going to win those fights, and I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see him lose. It's really that simple. Didn't want to see him lose. But yeah, we chopped it up, gone longer than I had anticipated, but it's all good. The product is good. It's COVID-19 era. If you're watching this in the future, we were locked down during this period. We're in like the second week of lockdown, maybe the third week. I don't know. Going cabin crazy. We'll talk about that in another show. Come up to the 2.5 hour mark. I was thinking more in line with 1.5 hours, but you got a bonus. You got an hour bonus. An hour into overtime. Still people watching. So John Daly. Any final thoughts, final words? you wish to share?
Stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good time to catch up on historical fights. I've watched a few recently that I'd been meaning to watch, been too busy to do.
Yeah.
So I like what you did today, Raphie. It was I enjoyed that, watching a bit of Hagler.
Hagler.
Maybe getting the short end of the stick against Leonard, but at the same time, I'm all right with giving a bit of credit to the showman, even though hand on heart, I'm probably with you on that. I prefer Hagler. I can appreciate what he's doing, but I know that it's not going to win you stuff on the scorecards, hitting people in close like that.
For real,
you've got to get them out of there if that's what you're going to do.
You got to get them the hell up on out of here, just like we're going to get the hell on up out of here. John, thanks for joining once again. Yeah, we're going to be doing another look back in history on the next Thursday show, hopefully starting at 9 o'clock. Hopefully you can join John for your historical perspective.
Yeah. I want to know what fight it's going to be.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the mystery. You send me your suggestions. Muhammad Ali will be involved. It's going to be Ali against
TBC.
TBA is to be announced. Nicole BT, the lovely Nicole BT, has come to join me. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for thanks for gracing the area with your elegance. Presence and elegance. How you like that? How you like that sequence of word? John Daly, thank you very much, Squire. Peace out. Thanks for joining in. See you next week. Okay, so that was John D. Lee, and then there was one. It's good to have John on. Chop it up, as we said. Damn. Monique Thompson, the lovely Monique Thompson, is still up. Monique, I thought you'd gone to bed. But you're still here. Still here with us. Damn, my throat's dry now. My throat is dry. You know, the Raphie has to go and hydrate. John Dealey's on it. Already sent a link. Going to check that out later. Every Thursday, we'll be looking at a historical fight right here on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And it was nice of everyone to join us in the COVID era, COVID lockdown, going stir crazy. Trying to tell people not to go outside, but how the hell are you going to get your exercise? What the hell have I got to do? Buy a treadmill? Have I got to buy a treadmill? Damn, wish I already had one. Wish I had one in home. Wish I had one in the home. Didn't think I'd need one. But anyway, we chopped it up. Ryan Garcia, Barry Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, and there was plenty more. Junior Farr, Parker, and that's it. From Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, it's Boxing Talk with Raphie, and we were joined by the Monique, the Nicole BT, the BH, the Smarty Jones. Who else we got? We're scrolling up. The John D. Lee, the Shiz Biz, the AK Jr., the God of War, the David Douglas, the Big Boys Boxing. Who else? The Michael J. White, SSB 28. Who else? The Red Gloved Militant. Yeah, this has been Boxing Talk with Raphie 113. Thanks for everybody joining. Watch out for the show every Monday, and during the COVID period, every Thursday. Goes back to every Wednesday when I get back to work, when they release us, when this virus has desisted, when the virus cease and desists. Okay, but in the meantime, it's Monday and Wednesdays, 9 p.m. UK time. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And the only thing left for me to say is, blessed